Greetings, family. Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. If you are new to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe and share our content with your friends. This will help grow our audience. I provide this content in three forms: audio, video, and a written transcript in order to reach as many people as possible. I also cite all of my sources under Show and Prove on my Medium page, which is where I post my transcript. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups by giving Black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills to my listeners from the podcast community. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue during COVID-19. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships and grants, housing, and legal services, all for free. Our goal this year is to raise $500,000 for our film project, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. I would like to thank those of you who have donated to our film project. I encourage people from my friends list and people in my social groups who want to be a part of our film project to please send me your email address to my Facebook inbox. Grekai of Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, mission is to eradicate urban violence in Chicago through arts, culture, commerce, and spiritual development. Grekai of Chicago will function in the areas of community co-op, community grocery stores, community health care clinic, and community housing. Grekai of Chicago will operate under 7 different components: a social service component, a spiritual component which will be optional for secular people, an entertainment component, an entrepreneur component, a political component under our for-profit service-based sector, health and wellness component, Black media component. We will offer a state-of-the-art recreational center that will offer bowling, high ropes adventure courses, captivating game rooms and amusement, billboards, energetic dance rooms, and quality restaurants, on-site child care, and an on-site music recording studio for our students making documentary films and stage plays. In addition, we will host family fun activities including combination deals, birthday parties, weddings, and corporate parties and events. Our objective is to build a bridge between the diaspora and continental Africans. Grekai of Chicago will be in the business of creating docudramas, short films, theater, photography, fine arts, music, poetry, literature, sculpture, dance, and spiritual development for inner city youth and their families. Once this virus is cleaned up, we plan on launching African tours in order for us to move from behind a computer and make real connections with our global Black family on the continent, starting in South Africa. I created GRCAM, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement, because I got tired of all of the division among Black people. I created GRCAM in 1991 on a site called Gopher. I wanted to create an organization that focused specifically on solving Black issues in America. I wanted to connect with other like-minded African Americans, Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Europeans, African immigrants, and Afro-Latinos throughout the diaspora. This is a podcast where we talk about solving Black issues / African issues using a spiritual perspective as it pertains to the great awakening of our people that has been prophesied. Our objective is to get our film project fully funded and play it by ear during COVID-19. Once this virus is cleaned up, then we will shoot our film and promote our film in selected movie theaters and sell our DVDs. Together we can put Gracam on the map and turn my vision for Black America into a reality. In 2021 and beyond, the grassroots community activist movement will be promoting a policy of global Black unity, ownership, and community support. We're reaching out to our group members and listeners and would like to encourage them to support our film project in 3 ways, which are as follows. Through our virtual store, Gracam merchandise such as COVID mask, coffee mugs, posters, handbags, and t-shirts. All proceeds will go towards our film project. 2, our nonprofit organization, Gracam Chicago. Donations can be used as a tax write-off because this is a legitimate 501c3. All donations are tax deductible to the full extent of the law. Tax write-offs are only for American citizens. 3, you can support us by purchasing my revised book on Amazon through my author page. When you're supporting our YouTube channel or our podcast, you're supporting an independent Black network which will eventually employ Black people in our films, stage plays, and in our actual business. I encourage African entrepreneurs to come on the show and promote your businesses and ministries to the diaspora and vice versa. This is the weekend edition of the show. Today's topic: do Black America really want a solution? Is it time for Black Americans to drop the reparation argument and controlling the public through fear? Our first topic: do Black America really want a solution? Truth be told, Black America don't want a solution because out of 1,476 people on my Facebook friends list, everyone would have embraced my idea back in 2012, and my revised book would be on the bestsellers list by now. This is tough work dealing with stiff-necked, stubborn people in our community, but somebody have to do it. I respect Dr. King Jr. and our grandparents for standing up and fighting for us to be treated as equals in America, but like I said in my revised book, Dr. King Jr. and our grandparents got caught up with pushing for integration. We began spending our money in white businesses while neglecting our own business. As a consequence, our community is being destroyed by outsiders through gentrification and from within by urban terrorists. Black people are living in a state of chaos within the inner cities of America. This is not my burden alone. This is a shared burden, for I am just one Black man with a vision and a plan. It takes a team to make a dream work. All I been trying to do is create a safe space for our Black children and their families, and create jobs for Black youth so that they don't continue killing each other. But I have little to no support for my efforts. This is why it's taken me so long to get the ball rolling. There are a lot of confusion going on in the Black community. When I did street ministry, I ran across brothers who were in the conscious community, Hebrew Israelites, Moors of America, Wahabians, Nation of Islam, and Pan-Africanists. We have all of these fractions, all these different people trying to convince us that their way is the best choice for Black America. We are in the era of COVID-19. We don't have time to debate whose religion is right and whose religion is wrong. I just want to move my virtual Christian socialist organization from behind a computer, starting in Chicago. Turn it over to qualified Black middle-class professionals and take my talents and skills to the continent. Before I cut and run, I want the global Black family to know what I've been trying to do for my people in America, and not have to waste time explaining myself. My work and business will speak for itself. We have been programmed to run away from constructive behavior and instead gravitate towards non-constructive behavior like posting silly videos on TikTok for clout. We have to be more constructive with our actions and not be afraid of being constructive people. Thinking for yourself is looked upon as being dangerous within black society. People who think for themselves are dangerous to those who have an authoritarian mindset. This is why the financial elite has, on purpose, dumbed down the American public through education and mainstream media. When you dumb down a society, then career politicians could tell the public anything and the public will believe it without questioning it. The Democrats are using a silencing campaign against anyone that questions them. That's not how America is supposed to work. That is what's happening in places like North Korea. Celebrities like Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, and Little Nas X can do all the mess they do without having their YouTube channels removed. But when you have a constructive conversation to help inform our group, then it becomes a problem. That's why I am trying to make this film so that I can be in a better position financially to hire black people that are information technologists so that we can build our own social site and not worry about being censored. If you allow career politicians to take away your freedoms, you're not going to get them back. Before the Patriot Act, we did not have all of this that we have now. The Biden administration is trying to use that $3.5 trillion budget to get the IRS to allow banks to give them a monthly report if you have more than $600 in your bank account. I understand if it's a criminal investigation going on, but just to be giving out your bank account information does not sit well with me. That's not only an invasion of privacy, that's a violation of the Fourth Amendment, unreasonable search and seizures. That's how the Chinese Communist Party move. The naysayers in our community aren't trying to build anything in the black community, nor are they going to contribute anything to help improve the conditions in the black community. Like-minded black people who think outside the box like me understand that we live in a global community and we got to connect on a global level. But the naysayers don't see anything beyond our neighborhood. This is why our community don't get anywhere as a collective, because small-minded people lack a vision for our people. How many times have you heard black people say, I'm not gonna help him get rich, but it's okay to help make Arabs, Asians, East Indians, Latinos, and white people get rich? Another thing black people get mad at black business owners for is their prices. A lot of our people purposely don't want to support businesses. Many blacks would say such things like, you shouldn't charge us that much, we're poor, but they don't say that to Louis Vuitton, Michael Jordan, or Apple store owners about that. Their iPhones, they pay up. If on purpose we start looking for more black brands, then that wealth gap will revert back to the black community. If black people continue to patronize all these other groups, then that $1 trillion a year will continue to leave our community. What if we had 3 years of keeping that money within the black community? We could turn around our situation in America. We could use that money to build our own schools, medical clinics, and grocery stores. This is what I've been preaching to my group members on Facebook for the past 17 years. The only thing which is preventing me from turning my virtual Christian socialist organization, GCAM, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement, into a real black Christian business, GCAM of Chicago, is the lack of manpower, and the Capitol. This is why I turn to social media to get my message out to the public through my YouTube videos, my social groups, my blog postings, my online talk show, my virtual store, my revised book, and now through my future urban Christian film. This is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group in America. Some of us have lost interest in doing something positive for the black community and black youth. I am not doing this for fame and fortune. This is my calling. The world may be impressed with fancy clothes, big houses, expensive cars, degrees, and making lots of money. But what good are any of these things if you die without Christ? Many people are too focused on having a good time in this short life and not prepared for the next life. There is nothing wrong with enjoying the things that God has blessed you with, but everything should not revolve around materialistic gain. Some people have sold out their relationship with God for material wealth, prestige, fame, power, etc. In the end, these things just ain't worth it. The Bible says, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" Time is winding up, and nothing can take the place of what God has prepared for those that believe. None of us know how long we have in this life. However long it is nothing compared to eternity. You can't live with Jesus in eternity if you don't live for Jesus now. Please leave me a comment on my YouTube page and my Facebook page about the topic. Our next topic: is it time for Black America to drop the reparation argument? There are 5 reasons why Black America should drop the reparations argument. The first reason is there's no strategic plan. I watched an interview with Yvette Carnell, who is the co-founder of American Descendants of Slavery movement. Marcus Lamont Hill from Black News Channel interviewed her. ADOS is based on lineage, not political position. When you listen to Yvette Carnell talk about reparation, it's very clear that she is very good at speaking about the talking points, such as it's owed to us. We deserve it. These talking points trigger Black Americans to mobilize for a temporary fad. When Marcus Lamont Hill started asking the tough questions like, how much money should be given to Black Americans, what I saw was a long pause. Then she said something along the lines of $20 trillion. For someone to be talking about reparations for almost 5 years, she still have not worked out an exact number that would satisfy the masses of Black people in America. That just tells me that there is no real plan. The Trump administration provided a platinum plan which offered $500 billion. Yvette Carnell is a college professor and Antonio Moore is an attorney. You mean between both of them they couldn't come up with a realistic number? America had a hard time passing a bill for $3 trillion to save the economy during the pandemic. The second reason why Black Americans should drop the reparation argument is because there's no context. When we demand career politicians for reparations, they tell us that they need to do a study about it. Since the context is unclear, career politicians were able to shift the context away from the reparations argument. We keep saying cut the check without putting forth a realistic figure for career politicians to work with. The third reason why Black Americans should drop the reparations argument is because we don't have a realistic figure to work with. The fourth reason why Black Americans should drop the reparation argument is because it's based on emotions. Nothing can be sustained on emotions. Once the 2020 elections were over and black people did not get what they wanted from the Biden administration, it deflected the argument. The fifth reason why black Americans should drop the reparation argument is because adults became a xenophobic movement. They started beefing with black immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean. The focus shift from holding the financial elites accountable to attacking black immigrants. We are caught up in a captured state mentality because our people don't want to learn new ideas. For example, black Americans have been marching and protesting for freedom, justice, and equality for 53 years, begging the financial elites since the civil rights era. Like I mentioned in my groups, we have a much better chance at receiving reparations if we were on the continent, because over there we are the majority, and we could also convince our brothers and sisters to push for their reparation for colonization from European nations. Please leave me a comment on my YouTube page and my Facebook page about the topic. Our third topic, controlling the public through fear. Throughout history, the subjugated people are the majority and the oppressive class is the few. If you are a small number of people, how do you subjugate a large group of people who are the majority? It can be through force, using the military, or it can be through fear tactics. 20 years ago, the right-wingers saw the power of how frightened the American people were during 9/11. If you ever read the book 1984 by Eric Blair, he was talking about the Soviet Union. Now it correlates to the United States. The financial elites or white supremacists wants to convince the average American that they don't need self-determination, black empowerment, but rather focus on where's the next party is going to take place. 20 years ago, the power that be told us that we need to turn over all of our rights. No right to privacy, free speech, or freedom of association. All of our phone calls, emails, and text messages were subject to be monitored and controlled by the government. Now, 20 years later, President Joe Biden is telling us we don't have to worry about terrorism anymore. There's a new enemy we need to focus on. The government is giving trillions of dollars to the United States pharmaceutical industry. When you have this type of government overreaching its authority, then people better start taking notice. I spent years trying to warn black people about what was coming to our community. If we don't unite, and now Joe Biden has done in a few weeks what I was unable to do in a decade, he made consequences a reality. Please leave me a comment on my YouTube page and my Facebook page about the topic. The phone lines are now open for Q&A through Facebook Messenger, either as a voice call by clicking on the phone icon or a video call by clicking on the camera icon.